Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending in Rivers State, where a group of women clad in white staged a solidarity walk in support of the emergency rule in the state on Monday, while declaring their support for the sole administrator, Ojy Okpe. The women held placards with inscriptions that read, "State of emergency is constitutional and persecutes the bombers of Rivers Assembly." Let's take a look. Peaceful protests. State of emergency is constitutional. Well, all right, in the same vein, over the weekend, a group of women staged a protest against the suspension of Sim Fubara and declaration of the emergency rule in the state. The women were demanding an end to what they perceive as an unconstitutional state of affairs. They held placards that read, "Save our democracy, obey the rule of law, and bring back Fubara." Let's take a look. Rotus, what do you mean? You're sure they want Fubara? It's their governor now. He's just suspended for only 6 months now. It's our 5 months now. I mean, but you saw that protest, the peaceful protest. They were all clad in white. It was nice and peaceful, wasn't it, Rufai? You were saying something about the difference between the two protests.
Today, we don't get paid protests for Nigeria.
Which one is paid?
Let's keep this in ourselves. No, I'm just talking.
Okay.
We
want to know which one
was paid and which one was not paid.
But can't you see that one protest was heavily militarized?
Yes.
The others was peaceful. I mean, it speaks volumes of what is going on. See,
I see Tokumbo there.
My point has always been, see, both Fubara and Wiki, they both went in and got in by suppressing the Rivers people. Because when Fubara got in there, we know the things that happened in that election. We know what was done to the likes of Tonye Cole. That was when the going was good for both of them. So I don't have pity for both of them. But why I lean towards what has been done against Fubara is that it's an aberration against our constitution.
Yeah.
Declaring a state of emergency. And 11 governors, Governor Dauda, when I interviewed him, said they have all gone to court.
Yeah.
Let's see how they try that in court. So we need to speak because, you see, it's Fubara today. It could be anybody tomorrow.
Right.
That's why we are speaking up. But as regards sympathy between Wiki and Fubara, when the going was good, God knows what happened among them.
What was that song?
When the going is good, many people will be your friends.
Let's remain in Rivers State.
That's
their
own wahala.
Conclude on this one. Meanwhile, reactions have trailed a 300 million naira payment by the Rivers State government to the Nigerian Bar Association. On Monday, the NBA clarified that the money received from the Rivers State government for the 2025 Annual General Conference was a gift and not a payment for hosting rights. The Rivers government had requested a refund after the NBA moved the conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu, citing constitutional violations in Rivers State. The NBA explained that hosting the conference involves significant costs and financial support from state governments, and it's typically provided in the form of gifts, partnerships, or sponsorship. Well, let's take some reactions. This person wrote, "The 300 million naira you received from the suspended governor Fubara, was it a donation or payment to overlook the unlawful activities in the state? I now understand why the NBA remained silent when Fubara demolished the Rivers State House of Assembly, but began speaking out when the state of emergency was declared. The EFCC should investigate what happened to the 300 million naira donation." Another ex-user wrote, I presume that there was a formal agreement to sponsor and host your event in River State, hence the disbursement of the 300 million naira. And since you decided to move the event to another state, the ethical thing to do is to return the money. The NBA aired. The association should be sued. I kind of concur with that. I'm not the suing, but I mean, you're saying it's a donation.
Do
you want to
from
quickly
a vantage point?
say something?
I have spoken in an MBA conference,
Okay.
so I have some background information about. But Kpai, please go ahead.
Okay, so after that,
Well, hear the background, but I mean, on the surface of it, a donation was made, and of course they'll say that it was a gift. But of course we all know that the unwritten agreement is that this is because you're going to come and patronize our state, and you're bringing a number of people for the conference. There's going to be economic activity. There's going to be all of the benefits that one derives from hosting a conference of this stature. So based off of the surface of it, it just seems like, well, we are moving our conference to Enugu now. Thank you for the gift, for the goodwill. Please, collect your money. Enugu, please, do the necessary, please. Can you
Isn't
shake
that how
body,
it's
drop
supposed
the
to be?
300? That's on the surface. So
Vimba,
if I think there's
let's
nothing,
ask
but that's the way I see
cracking
it.
up right here. Then we'll ask her to say.
The Enugu State is run by a private sector individual, Peter Umba. No chaos. He's provided water, infrastructure. River State is a sad case. 300 million naira at 1,600 is $187,000, right? That is money that can go to communities. No, I don't know anybody here. Do you know anybody who has told you, hey, Ojy, I got a job in River State. I'm starting tomorrow. Hey, Vimbai, my wife is giving birth to a new baby in a hospital. No development, nothing. It's just two people, you know who they are, fighting, demolishing the states. I have no sympathy for River State and what's going on there. And it's a good decision going to Enugu State, because Enugu State is on a upward trajectory. So good job on the NBA.
Should they refund the money or not?
Yes, they should. I'm on there. Refund the money. Refund the money.
With the background information I have spoken at the NBA conference, and it was done that year in River State. The norm has always been, and Governor Wike hosted effectively. In fact, that 300 million, I can tell you, cannot entirely host that event. Because I sat 2 to 3 to 4 years ago, I forget now the year particularly now, that I hosted, that the money that was spent on that event was more than even this amount.
But why? Why refund?
Hang on a minute, let me finish. Hang on a minute. See, in your state,
300 million, no.
Brutus,
State funds.
wait, in states, they try to attract these big conferences as also a bragging rights.
Okay.
So it's for them too. It brings some economic activities, yes, but it's also a thing of a bragging rights.
Okay.
That year, Governor Wike hosted us. I spoke and I left that day. This amount, yes, people even volunteered. What you should ask is, yes, the NBA might have courted them, but voluntarily the money was given. But the status of things have changed, and I think it's very cheeky by the River State Sole Administration to now say, pay the money back because you are taking things
But
away.
what are they using the money for?
Thank you.
No, please, can I just ask the question? What are they
Let
using
me
the money
finish.
for?
300 million
Let me
naira
finish.
for an event.
Do you know the logistics involved in holding an NBA
But
conference?
Break it down. Break down the
Hold on, but
logistics.
it's not even happening.
Break down the logistics for us, line by line.
You have nothing less than hundreds to close to 1,000 speakers. The logistics of bringing them in, putting them in hotels and everything, and catering to their needs. That's not.
Where?
Why not make it virtual? Why not make it by Zoom? Why not do it by Zoom?
The
Let
point
me
is that
finish
it's not
now.
happening.
Let the
me
new
finish.
host
It's not
state.
Can I
happening.
finish?
That's
Can I
the point.
finish?
Okay.
You guys will let me speak.
ahead,
I'm
go
breaking
ahead.
the logistics for you.
Okay.
Secondly, the logistics of getting a venue for all of this. The logistics of guests coming in.
Okay.
The logistics of planning of the local organizing committee.
Okay.
All of these things cost money.
Okay.
All right?
Fine.
So if it costs money and a state offered when the going was good, it is a gift. If things had not gone their way again this time around, the state now saying, no, because you took it to another state, bring my money back. It is tricky because in the first place you gave it to them as a gift. And that's why the NBA has said that there was no binding agreement. that because you gave us a gift, that it must be hosted there.
All right, so they
all
can keep
of
the
these
gift. That's your
also
opinion,
has been
yeah.
politicized.
All right, so they can keep the
based on
gifts. Your opinion is
empirical
that
fact. You gave somebody a gift.
Fine,
There was
fine.
no point taking it back in the first place.
Okay.
Let's stop over politicizing
Fine,
issues.
sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Good faith,
Yes.
as the state will no longer benefit from the bragging rights.
Return the money.
This
Give
is it.
them
Okay,
their
so
money back. You're not
it's-
benefiting the state anymore.
Rufy, it's 3 against 1 today. Rufy on
Remember
fire.
the position you took today.
It's fine. But
Okay,
it's not
fine,
because
fine.
I know what goes on.
Everyone
Even
is
that
entitled
300
to
million,
their own
please,
million.
you can go and fact check
That's
me.
almost half $1 billion naira.
300
or 200 million
No,
away from
no,
100
no,
million.
no, we don't disagree. We don't
300
disagree with you.
million
What
is
it's
not even
supposed to be
enough
used
to
for.
host that NBA conference.
All right.
Fact check me
The
anyway.
All right.
NBA should do cost
But check me
cost
anywhere.
benefit
The joy
analysis
of
and
being
reduce
here
that
is that we can all agree to
Yes,
disagree.
we can all
Yeah,
agree
we can all agree to
to.
disagree.
All right, Rufy on fire. All right, can we calm down now?
I mean, I don't need to have a popular
Okay.
opinion on
All
things
right,
every time.
let's
I
calm
speak
down.
based on
We
facts
shall
and what
move
I know.
on. We shall move on. Okay, great.
is it?
Well, all right. Well, let's now take this moment to remember over 90 girls who are still in captivity. Yesterday, April 14th, marked 11 years since Boko Haram militants abducted over 200 girls from Chibok in Borno State, sparking global outrage and the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls campaign. The abduction on April 14, 2014, of the schoolgirls highlighted deep security flaws and exposed the nation's struggle to protect its citizens. Despite promises and efforts to find the missing schoolgirls who have now become women, little progress has been made while abductions continue across Nigeria. As the anniversary passes, the mission remains unfinished until every missing girl is safely returned home to their families who still await their daughters. And you know, this is the campaign. Yesterday, I wanted to take the story. We didn't really have time to touch on it because that means a big topic. I have met some of the women who are still waiting for their daughters. Last week, I met one of them who, you know, was saying that she still continues to wash her daughter's garment every other weekend, waiting. And the issue about abduction is still rife. It's still continuing. We've been talking about, you know, these killings that are even going on at this point. At this point, we just want to appeal to the federal government to also look into these 96 Chibok girls that are still missing. Our hearts go out to their families. In the meantime, there's been widespread condemnation of the ongoing violence and killings in Plateau State following a recent attack in Bassa local government area of the state where over 50 people were killed on Sunday, April 13th, just days after 80 people lost their lives in the same attacks in Bokos local government area of the state. Governor Muftwang described the violence as a sponsored genocide and stated that armed bandits have taken over 64 villages. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has condemned the killings, urging the state government to address the root causes of the long-standing ethnic and religious conflict and demanded a thorough investigation into the attacks. Well, also, the Christian Association of Northern Nigeria has also condemned the brutal killings in the state, expressing deep sadness and outrage in a statement issued on Monday. They call the attacks senseless, barbaric, and a threat to peace and unity, urging security agencies to apprehend the perpetrators. Vimbai, we did see last week Governor Mutuang over the weekend where he went out to visit communities in the Bokos local government area. There are about, I believe, 1,000 of them, he's saying at this moment, that have been affected by this really deadly attacks in this, at this time. Vimbai, we know the antecedents, we know the story, we know the history behind these killings. They say that it's been going on for what? How many decades now? I'd like your thoughts. It seems like we just continue to talk about this and continue to condemn the killings and no results. The same as the Chibok girls, no results.
It's devastating, Ojy, because it's a recurrence, same conversations, same themes. So the death toll for Plateau State specifically since 2023, since that Christmas massacre, is now over 300. For a period of 1 year, that's just deplorable. Now, you hear that, okay, fine, the nomadic groups and so forth. We need to separate between the because this is no longer farmer herder, the governor is calling it full-on genocide. What broke my heart is the fact that there's a community called Rui. Rui lost 17 people during the Christmas massacre of 2023. That same community is affected by this killing again. Now, can you imagine a community that was just beginning to heal and recover from the calamity they went through 2 years ago are now plunged into mourning again? Now, what does this also show you? It shows you that we're not doing anything to secure those areas that were attacked before, because by now they seem to know the pattern. They know that they come around this planting season when they're getting ready to start to prepare for the farming season. They know the communities they come into. They know that besides the farmland, this is about illegal mining. So the question is, what are the proactive steps that are being taken? Of course, the president has made a statement that has been rather divisive for people, because the president has said that, well, enough is enough, and he's called on the governor to step up and do what needs to be done in the situation. Now, why is this divisive? Because some people are saying, is it the president who is supposed to be calling on the governor to step in, when at the end of the day, we know that the security architecture belongs to the federal? Now, the other school of thought are saying that, but the governor has a responsibility to go into communities and create conversation and create security at the community level. We know that Plateau State already has Operation Rainbow. They also have the Agro Rangers, but it's just not enough. So I think in a multifaceted approach where we see, as we popularly like to say, kinetic and non-kinetic, let's go into those communities and see what can be done from that level. However, this is a security issue, and we need to focus on ensuring that the military goes in there, re-strategizes, reinforces, does whatever they need to do to secure this, because this, in such a short period of time, is just purely tragic.
I know, absolutely. I mean, the idea about, who and, what parastatals should be taking care of security it is the responsibility of the federal government as well as the state government. I mean, they are the ones who said, elect us. We want to help you guys. So you both, the Tinubu administration and, the Plateau State government, because I believe the reprisal attacks began in 2023. Over 250 Plateau citizens have died at this point. I know that there was a time where, we had these sort of attacks in, some northern states like Kaduna State. And we have seen that it has reduced very, only recently we have seen some sort of community engagement in Kaduna State where we see Ubasani going to churches and, there's this collaboration with the Muslim and the Christian community. No, hold on. Can I land on my point? Yeah. There's that mutual understanding that we are a family. And so, it behooves on the state governor who is in charge of all of those local government areas to find ways to collaborate with these communities, to speak to them about the ills of these killings. You were the one who sent me the video of Shehu Sani having those sort of interaction with the Fulani group.
Context and also differs.
Well, we know that.
And let me make if I can be allowed to make my point. You see,
what are you trying to argue about?
My point is, let's not come here and be hypocritical.
About?
What is happening in Plateau, the security dynamics is way different from what was happening in Kaduna. Kaduna was also a heated religious battle based on some of the leadership there. That was what was happening in Kaduna then. And we all saw the harm. What Shehu Sani has, Ubasani has done is to douse things down based on those religious proclivities. Here, ethnic cleansing, is genocidal. The external people, there's a lot of land in the system. There's the Irigwe problem. There's mining. The context is different. In all of this, my point has always been, and please do not get me wrong, I'm not saying the governors cannot do communal engagement. But the bulk of stopping the war has and rests on the federal government.
And so that is why the issue
See,
of state police is also coming in
yes,
now.
but
We're
there's no
speaking
devolution
about
of powers
yeah,
yet.
they need to do that as
Yes.
well. And so our argument is that we're not saying
That's
anything
just it.
different. And you're spot on with the issue of genocide in
Yes.
Kaduna State. It's the same thing that the governor is claiming, alleging.
Yes.
The governor of Plateau State is alleging at this time. We all know the meaning of genocide. So it is a serious and worrying situation, and all hands need to be on deck.
That's just it.
My heart goes out to their families. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry I'm going back, but you've set YouTube on fire. There's a hashtag 300 million NBA now.
Okay.
Cyril Tolerance says that if the NBA cannot host its own conference and can't generate enough revenue for 300 million, they probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place because it's quote unquote
Okay.
size.
I mean,
you set it on fire. It's
All
just
right.
YouTube is
Well,
upside
there'll be
down.
more
YouTube is upside down.
There'll be more reactions.
The Arise
to
News
that.
YouTube page is on fire. It's on fire.
There'll be
You
more
set it on
reactions
fire.
to this.
So,
Can we go back to the
Yes,
security?
yes. Back to security.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about the security issue. Very, very important topic. And as I was saying, my heart goes out to the families and those that have lost their lives in this really horrible communal clash. I mean, I don't even know whether to call it a clash because these people are going into bedrooms and people's homes and killing. Something needs to give. In another development, Labour Party leader Peter Obi, in a post on X, narrated how his planned visit to Benue State was thwarted. Obi stated that while his visit to Plateau State was welcomed, he encountered difficulties contacting the Benue State Governor, Hyacinth ALIA. Despite this, Peter Obi continued his journey, but his visit was ultimately halted by a press statement from the Benue government citing high-profile meetings and security concerns. The statement also required written permission from the Benue State Emergency Management Agency for visits to IDP camps. Obi expressed disappointment, emphasizing the humanitarian nature of his visit and his long-standing commitment to supporting vulnerable Nigerians. He appealed for a less politicized approach to national issues, urging leaders to prioritize welfare of the less privileged. I mean, I can imagine how frustrating this can be. I mean, he is Peter Obi, Labour leader, former presidential candidate. He needs to take permission before he goes into, the IDP camps. But meanwhile, Benue State Governor Hyacinth ALIA has cautioned politicians against making unscheduled visits to the state, citing safety concerns. He stated that he cannot guarantee the safety of individuals or groups visiting Benue without prior approval from the relevant authorities. The warning follows the recent attacks, in several local government areas of the state. I mean, I know it's a lot to unpack at this moment. Let me give the floor to you because you seem like you really want to
you see where governors want to exert their authority. I want to say, okay, you can't come to my state. Look, this is just a follow-through on the conversation we're having. Governors in Nigeria know when they want to step up and prevent somebody from coming to their state for one reason or the other. They know when they want to. The Land Use Act, like I said, is still in charge of the governors. A lot of private sector people say that act is a hindrance to investment in real estate in Nigeria. Nigerian governors should take up the responsibility of securing their states. Peter Obi should not have been halted from going to visit those folks in the IDP camps. You can see how governors are when they want to flex.
I agree with you. And then the sad part about the whole conversation, when we look at social media comments, people are saying, I mean, is this man not was he a reverend? Is he a reverend? Is a Catholic priest? I mean, these issues should not be politicized. We already know, Peter Obi's antecedents. It's not his first time going to IDP camps, doing these sort of donations. And at this point in our polity, Benue State is, heated. People are dying. So he has to be able to go in there to help the children and the people that are in IDP camps. This issue should not be politicized at all. Well, in Borno State, a video of a young boy being brutally flogged by a man identified as Buka Modu has caught the attention of the state governor, Professor Babagana Zulum. The boy, Bashir Gaji, whose father was reportedly killed by Boko Haram insurgents, was living in an internally displaced persons camp in Mungono. After the video sparked outrage on social media, the governor immediately directed the arrest and persecution of Modu and pledged a fully furnished house as well as educational scholarship for the young boy. I mean, this is amazing. Zulum emphasized that his administration will not tolerate the abuse or exploitation of minors. He also directed the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development to develop community awareness programs to educate families, local teachers, guardians, and proper child discipline. Vimba, you know I have to come to you on this story. I was heartbroken when I watched that video of that man. Can you imagine? The boy is an orphan living in an internally displaced camp. Well, kudos to the Borno State governor who swung into action. I mean, if we don't have social media, we will never have seen this sort of post, and we'll never have seen this kind of abuse. Young boy, now he has a home.
You know, it's so important for us to always remember to put a human face to the insecurity and its consequences. You know, sometimes you speak of Boko Haram and this and so forth, and it's almost like a concept, it's a theory, it's not tangible. But when you see, look at this poor young boy. He's a victim of circumstances. And then as if him being a victim of circumstances is a crime, those around him are now behaving abusively towards him. It's so sad. So I'm so grateful to this governor for stepping in.
Yes.
But now we say, what about all of those who are not being captured on social media?
Yes.
Thank you.
How it's about rebuilding. We always talk about institutions, systems, the society, the most vulnerable. This is, sorry to sound a bit cliche, but this is our future. That's our tomorrow right
Absolutely.
there. So that... So commendable. But again, hoping they go into those communities, look for those young, vulnerable ones, take them in. Let us, you know, create a safe haven for them, for more of them, so that we can protect them, because the realities are harsh.
And more importantly, really, I believe that, you know, it's the sensitization of these our leaders, these school teachers or imams or malams or what have you. They have to understand what the difference is about training a child and child abuse. That was a horrific scene that we saw. It was heartbreaking, and, you know, it should never happen to any child in Nigeria.
All right, so I just saw this video now on Sunday at North's page. First of all, this video is very offensive. Not just that, it is degrading, disrespectful, and shameful to the Nigerian police force and also to the country called Nigeria. This video clearly shows a foreigner arranged our policemen in uniform, in line, in uniform, and started giving them money one after the other. And they are seen shining their teeth. It just reminded me of this particular video of monkeys rushing bananas. That's what that video reminded me of. It is a disgrace to the entire police force and a disgrace to Nigeria. A disgrace. I have searched, when immediately I saw this video, it triggered me. I searched the whole internet to find where other countries around the world, where you will see their policemen like this, in this same formation of people giving, not even their own country persons, giving them money like that. Only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria. I shame for this country. I shame for Nigeria. I shame. Nobody even saying a Nigerian man, they don't, a foreigner. The annoying part of the video. Now when the man can't even call him daughter, being a friend, can't give those girls money, them two can't continue, and they laugh. See this one with 3-star. Nigerian police force, 3-star. 3-star. Foreigner line una up, they give una money. At least I don't get opportunity to travel around some countries around the world, and I see the way they respect their police. I see the way the policemen carry themselves. For Dubai, when I go, you know, if you even follow the policeman talk. I just came back from China, because that man in that video looks Asian. So I just came back from an Asian country, China. You know, if you see their police in this kind of position. In short, there was a particular day I went to buy gadgets. I went to the gadget shop. So this young girl who sells one cleaner like that, cleaner for clothes, she kept on pressurizing me to buy the cleaner. I told her I don't want. But because of the pressure she mounted me, I said, okay, let me dash this girl 100 RMB, which is equivalent to about 22,000 naira. Let me dash this girl, make sure they go. You understand? Make she leave me. Do you know I gave this girl this 100 RMB? The girl gave me the goods. I told her I don't want the goods. That I'm just giving it to her, that she should go. The girl said, no, she cannot accept it. That if I don't want to buy, I should forget it. That was when one Nigerian guy that went together and I said, in China, they feel the need to work for money. They don't like when you dash them money. That one now, the ordinary citizen, let alone the police. I see this video, I nearly shed tears for my country. I nearly shed tears. Guess what? Maybe if this particular Asian-looking man now, this foreigner where did this video, anytime he does something, all those police where they cannot do anything. It's obvious that those policemen are within the jurisdiction of where that foreigner business day. So from this video, you clearly see that he's in charge of all the policemen in his jurisdiction. No wonder why some Nigerians, they complain, say that they work for all these foreigners companies for Nigeria. Say sometimes they'll go report their oga because of maltreatment. Sometimes their bosses, their foreign bosses, will use stick hit them, use plank knock them. They'll go and report to the police that their rights is being stepped on in their own country. Instead, our Nigerian police go even lock them up. Stories like that have come out, and this is it. If you feel they do this one for open, where you don't even get shame, they record you. You don't even do one for hidden. It don't reach like this. Country don't bad like this. To the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, I don't know if you have seen this video, but I am really curious. I would expect you to bring all these policemen to a room and ask them what that money is for. Even if he's dashing them the money on their uniform, like monkeys that are rushing bananas. Like monkeys. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It is disgraceful. It is degrading. And not just a slap to the Nigerian police force, but a slap to the whole country called Nigeria and every Nigerian living in this country. Like I said, present me a picture, a video anywhere of police around the world in different countries. Just find a video where you will see that a citizen is giving their policemen money. Even Ghana, where they near here, you know if you find this type of video. But Nigeria, everything is allowed. No manners, no morals, no respect for the uniform. It's a disgrace. I'll be expecting the PRO, the first PRO, to say something about this. But of course, you know, if you even talk. And to the IG of police, I'll be expecting a statement on this video. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace to my country, Nigeria, and a shame to everybody where in this country. This video, which message you want to send out? After we say they no value us around the world. That's why when we travel, they keep teaching us. They keep treating us like mumu. And we don't learn. But guess what? Time will tell. And you all will learn, and you will learn the hard way if you don't start carrying yourself properly. Shame. Disgrace. Disgrace.